need to know that it's like, okay to express themselves, because there's like a lot of judgment, especially on social media, around kids being kids. Like, you know, childish interests being shamed or mocked. Teen years are a very hard time in your life. You do not also need to be bottling up things that you enjoy or things that you want to express.
If we don't have young people telling us what they need and want, then we're not designing what they need and want. It's a no-brainer, but it hasn't always been the way. The Youth Voice Project initially started in 2023 as a peer teaching kids to become peer researchers and to create projects based on the research that they conducted. It evolved. At the end of 2023, we realised we had 4 great projects that could be taken further.
This year we've been working with them to develop projects and deliver those projects in the community through a process of co-design, which is working with other community members and organisations and other young people.
Whereas last year was focusing on research, this year's been more about activity and getting things done. So less theory, more action, and realising their dreams.
I draw a lot, like a lot. I am Lani, I am in year 10. I know whenever I have too much going on in my head, I'll just sit down and start scribbling or just drawing. It helps me in the moments. It's important to let people know that that is an option and it works. So our project, we're trying to put up self-expression walls, which are like walls that young people are allowed to come over and draw on or paint on or whatever.
Due to me being in year 12, obviously this is my last year, and I just wanted to do something and leave on a good note. When I found out about this whole Youth Voice project, I was really keen on doing the breakfast club. When you have food, you feel more energised and you're more ready for the day. Having to get up early in the morning, it made it a struggle to make breakfast in the morning, so it was just easier getting to school and being able to relax and go and have the option to go get breakfast if I needed to.
So I'm Lily and I'm in year 9. My project is for individuals who are on the spectrum, on the journey to becoming diagnosed with ASD, young carers and their families.
We met at swimming. I met Phoebe and then I met Caitlin.
And then we all did mountain bike riding together.
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea to have a good BMX track because it gives kids something to do and they can get out of the house and be active. And it's also a good thing to build skills, so when they come to our high school, for example, they can get into mountain bike riding.
We're trying to revamp the Malcolm Moore Park so it's more of like a skills track that's for all ages, so it's actually usable as well. It's like something we can all have in common.
We heard that it's already been tried to be done, but there wasn't a lot of support for it. We're just trying to see what we need and what we should do.
Basically, we're going to do 2 things today. So we're just going to talk about what information do you need.
The meetings that we ran with the students this year, we helped them develop project management skills. We helped them work out how to break their projects down into small bite sizes that were manageable.
So in today's session, we were talking about data collection and specifically surveys and questionnaires, tips for how to make an engaging survey and also some pitfalls to avoid.
5 to 10 questions, that is like a perfect size survey. No more than 15 questions, that's about how much attention most people have.
We gave them an opportunity to test out their projects and develop some questions. It's important for them to think about these issues now because they're at the stage of their project development where there are some gaps in their knowledge and understanding. For example, the BMX project, they might need some evidence to present ideas to council. For the breakfast club, they might want insights into dietary options or things that students like or need or want. So it's really good to do this sort of work now so they have options and tools in their tool belt, if you want, to kind of collect and gather information and evidence to inform their project implementation.
In March, we took the students to Sydney.
We caught a train up.
Very early start at Bomaderry.
It wasn't that
early.
It was like 9.
Early.
We caught the train
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That was good. No,
Phoebe loves trains.
I do love trains.
Yeah, we went to Central. We met with a bunch of people.
I think we got on a tram somewhere along the way there.
Some of the kids hadn't been on a train before, which I found surprising. And then some of them had never even been to Sydney before. So that was I think a lot of their minds got blown. They got some good travel training using their Opal cards. And then from there, we went to the Uniting office where we met with the Uniting's advocacy team.
You got to think about what do you want to win and what do you want to change.
The idea of a campaign is that, no, you've got to bring people with you. Help them understand why what you're fighting for is worth it and that we can get there together. It's also working towards a goal. I think a campaign, you want to win something, it's really important to always have in the back of your mind, that's what we're working to at the top of that peak. And everything I'm doing now has got to step me closer to there.
The Uniting project talked about like the steps you can take to like get your project along the way and how to present to like someone you might need to talk to, and we brainstormed who we needed to talk to
and how we'd pursue the project with the data that we had collected.
And then we talked about our projects and what we were doing.
Uniting also talked about getting your projects out there more and advocating for them, especially.
People at Uniting giving the advice on how to confront services and how to kind of build my way up to the top and to the bigger people.
Oh, it actually helped us create our motto, turn the dumps into jumps. I also designed a sticker actually.
Oh yeah, you want to see the sticker?
Yes.
It's really cool.
You might have a specific idea, but no direction, no tactic, no strategy to get to that point. And I think that this provides them the tools to think that through and really map it out.
Knowledge is power, relationships are power, experience is power. I want them to take away the learnings that they've had from this project and from the BMX track or the self-expression wall or the food bank and apply all the things that they've learnt and use them on all the things that they see in the world, because this is not the only unfair thing they're going to come up against in their lives, right? So I hope this just lights a spark in them to question and to challenge and to believe that it doesn't have to be that way and that change is possible.
After the advocacy training, we headed back to the hotel where everyone got a bit dressed up and we went to dinner at Circular Quay.
I'm going to sound like an old fart, but I actually really liked seeing all the old buildings because it was really cool.
Felt like a tourist.
Yeah, felt like a tourist.
And you could see the Sydney Harbour.
We both hadn't been to the Opera House, so that was very fun. That was a fun experience. Love that. And we got to see
A performance of Midsummer Night's Dream by Bell Shakespeare Company, I believe.
Which was really good. I recommend.
She actually liked that.
and there was a lot of fancy people there, which was nice. And that was like a first experience for me at least.
If I had not studied Midsummer Night's Dream in like year 7 or 8, I would have had no clue what was happening because it was all in Shakespearean. But it was very, very entertaining, and the slapstick at the end was hilarious.
And just having that opportunity was just so unique and special, and seeing how excited they were, it was really nice to have that opportunity.
And the next day,
We went to a
Very good buffet.
we went to like a massive youth conference with a bunch of other schools.
Which was actually really fun.
That was so cool. That was insane.
It was a huge, overwhelming experience going there with many different schools.
We all filed into the big lecture conference hall with like inspirational speakers.
who like told their stories about how they became a leader.
It was a very exciting day. Some of our kids got to meet students from all over the state.
Seeing all the other students like hungry and passionate and wanting to be leaders because like they were so inspired by other people themselves, like that was insane. Like that was so cool. All the advice, like everything that was said, you needed in one way or another. It was just so beneficial, and yeah, I loved it.
Providing them that exposure to Sydney Opera House, and even on the previous camp, providing them with that exposure to universities, really showing that there's a bigger world. Giving them that drive for their going into life, whether it's academics or whatever else, and just giving them that motivation, that hunger, that knowing that they have options.
Yes, Research does get a bad name for being a bit boring, but in the end, research is the backup. It's the cheerleaders who support everything going forward.
Like the initial survey that we put out is what told us that more people wanted more stuff to do around the place. We chose a mural because it's easy to collaborate on, easy to get multiple people's input on, and also it just makes it more visible to people.
The Creative Spaces project, they have been working with Jervis Bay Maritime Museum and some local artists.
So they identified the need for more creative and accessible arts available in the community.
They've gathered other young creative students in the area and brought them together, and it looks like it's going to be an exciting mural.
Our project has progressed, including progressing from 3 days a week to now 5, and a wider range menu with dietary requirements, toast, Milo, sometimes cereal, and toasties on Fridays.
We sent out an online questionnaire to the whole school. We researched how many kids did go to breakfast club.
100 on the best day, 50 on like a slow-ish day.
And then how many kids actually had breakfast in the morning.
What would they like to be in the breakfast club? And then we got the statistics with people not having food throughout the day, which gave us motivation to create the to-go lunches.
We have invested the grant money into purchasing some equipment for the breakfast club, including a brand new fridge and one of those fancy hotel toasters. And that means that breakfast club is not only 5 days, but it caters for everyone.
There's such a big stigma around people on the spectrum. There's so much discrimination. Their disability does not define them. And I myself just got diagnosed with level 2, and I'm sitting here today. I think that just says so much.
So Lily Rose's project has been looking at the welfare of young carers, especially young carers around her own age.
It's awkward talking about intimacy and relationships to your child in general. It's kind of something that you swerved around. I know my parents swerved around that. So tonight we are looking at an aspect of my project which is around parents and how parents can give support to their child who's on the spectrum. This is what a relationship is, this is what intimacy is, this is the wrongs, this is the rights. It's a big issue and it needs to be solved.
We will be doing a zoo trip where we've got some young carers who are getting a day off, getting respite, getting away from the stresses of home.
So I took 3 young carers out to Mogo. So it was nice to hear their stories. It was nice to see them have fun. They really liked it, yeah. They liked just not having to worry. One of the mums saying how much her son needed it. I did this because of the lack of information that I had. And now that I have this information, I can step out and I can empower other people to say that, look, that's not on. That's not what it's like. I have a sister who is so smart, who's so intelligent and is brilliant. Everything that you say does not apply to her. And you really need to get to know the people who you see.
I think that it's good to have a good BMX track, a reason to get out of the house, and then that also means good exercising in a fun way too.
The project focusing on revitalising the BMX track in Basin View has been led by 3 wonderful Year 9 students from Vincentia High School.
I mean, particularly at their age, I think being on bikes is their sense of freedom. Their ability to be able to just get up and jump on the bike and go.
They were able to take the data that they collected from the survey and they've applied that to create a presentation which was delivered to the council on why that park needs to be revitalised. So they delivered at a briefing, and that's highly unusual.
We ran through it in the car. Today we will be speaking before you to present a potential solution to solve the current state of the Basin View BMX track at Malcolm Moore Reserve.
I think the councillors commented they'd never had a presentation by people that were that young before.
I've never seen 3 more nervous people.
I mean, I wasn't too nervous, but then once I finished my first palm card, all I could hear was my heartbeat.
They knocked it out of the park. They were so good. It was so impressive. We found out just recently that the park has been put on the priority listing for development potentially. So it was such a joy to see all the work that we've done with them and for them to come up with that. A lot of people said, oh, you did well in the presentation. I did nothing. Those kids did the whole presentation. That wasn't Firefly. It was them. It's amazing.
So we're getting SCUM, which is South Coast United Mountain Bike Riders. They're based in Koondu and they are going to do some training days, like workshops, just to teach kids around our community about BMXing, and it's just kind of a way to get our petition out.
It's also kind of a way to build interest in like BMXing and mountain bike riding, so they'll help us with like the track building.
You know, to have the ability to step out of the comfort zone, that's where the growth is. And I think overall, that's the importance of the program.
Well, it's important because it's life skills. They're able to talk to adults. A lot of young teenagers can't do that. And a big adventure. She's gone to Sydney more than I have in my life.
Her confidence has grown immensely, and it's really good that the kids have the opportunity to see how processes work and how to achieve things in the real world. It shows them how the world works. Yeah. And it's not all easy. You don't get things instantly. You have to work at things. So, yeah, so I'm very proud of her.
We are seeing these projects address needs in our community, like they are. And this shows that if you do it right with the right parameters and you really guide those kids and let them work on something that they care about and that they see as a need, they can develop a lot of these skills along the way.
Last time I reflected that I learnt that young people eat a lot. I think this year I've been taught that young people can achieve their dreams. I've learnt that you don't need to baby them. I learnt that they do have initiative, and if you give them the supports that they need, that's how they will flourish.
These young people that we're working with, they're fun, they're funny, they're smart, they're motivated, and a lot of the time they just really want somebody to listen. I think the more that we can support them to further those ideas and give them that room to grow and have that space to implement what they see is important, we will all benefit from.
The Youth Voice project has helped a lot with me noticing things like this, but I didn't quite realise that there were as many people who were interested in this kind of thing.
Before this project, I used to never know how to talk to adults. I would just get someone else to do it, but now that I've been in this project, it's been way easier for me to talk to people.
From this, it's really taught me just to take any opportunity that comes. My age doesn't matter. It's what I do that defines me.
And they've also helped me come out of my shell just a little bit. Sounds a bit cheesy, but being able to get out and do things that I'm actually interested in for a change is nice.
Meeting all these lovely people and being able to reach out to them. They're very supportive. That's definitely my biggest highlight.
It's really about self-confidence and about believing in themselves that they are capable of doing things, and they're capable of doing hard things as well.
They're inspiring, but they can do it. I think advocating for them and giving them spaces where they can step up and shine, it's the gem of this project.